A very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight on the evening review. My name is Taivo Jebela. Tonight on the platform, we are joined by McDonald Vihanga. He intends to stand as an independent candidate in the Okahandja region. He will explain that in a moment, but that is the conversation for tonight. Thank you very much, McDonald, for making time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. So maybe to clear the ground, you want to stand as an independent?
Yeah.
In which election and for which area?
Okay. Just to answer your question simply, this is for the regional and local authority. Okay, let me just say regional council, which is taking place next year, 2025. The elections themselves are happening on 2025, or however the nomination thereof is happening in this year. The dates is still to be announced.
Okay.
And this is for the Okahandja region, which is an area where I've been very active. And that is under the Okahandja Constituency. I'm running as an independent candidate for that particular specific constituency.
Yes. What prompted you to go? What is the English expression? To go it all alone, if you like, as an independent.
Well, it's not really about to say that it's all alone or whatsoever. For me, it's I see problems in our country. I see a lot of challenges, and being a person who wants to be part of that solution, I have done a couple of things in my own capacity, but I still feel limited. And I look at the possible options that are there, and our constitution provides that I can stand as an independent candidate, and I qualify the criteria and so forth. So, but generally, I think the problem with Namibia is a policy problem. It is the law making. We have laws that do not work in the interest of the people, and therefore, my aim or my desire would have been to be even if I have that capacity to run for president, but unfortunately that is unrealistic right now. But because, as I said, it's a policy-making problem that we have.
Yeah.
So I looked at the possible options. One of them was independent candidate, which is in the political structures, which allows me to then be elected from my constituency on a regional council. And then from the regional council, if I'm lucky, they stand a chance to go on the National Assembly as per the Constitution. Not National Assembly, National Council, where at least I can have some sort of impact or effect with my creative mind and so forth.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your journey, your life journey, up to this stage where you now feel that the time has come for you to stand as an independent. Have you served, for example, in political structures before, in a political environment or activism and stuff like that? What is your background?
Yeah, so that's a very good place to give our viewers to understand who I am.
Yeah.
So like I said, the name is McDonald Vihanga. And I was born and raised, born in Windhoek, but raised in Okahandja, where I had a lot of upbringing and a lot of activities happen from my childhood. I used to love serving, giving people food, whatever I left over, those little things. And these things grew up with me. I even remember finding myself at some point creating out of just a bag that Top Score used to have their porridge in, and that bag is empty. That sack, I would put sand in there, and then I would use that as a facility for people to come and box. So that's where it started. But otherwise than that, I have in 2017 I formulated a youth organization with the aims to serve as well, to be able to do what I gifted in. This organization is called Generation Next Youth Club, as the name says it. It's all in the name. It's for the upcoming or next generation.
Yeah.
And it has been able to put me on a couple of boards. In fact, in 2022, the Okahandja community got up, and then there was an election general meeting at NASCAM, which is the Namibian Society of Authors and Composers of Music. They came in numbers. They elected me as their representative on their board because they trust and they see they see what I'm capable of. Also, in the same year, I was elected in Red Cross as a chairperson in the Okahandja Constituency. So there's also another election that happened prior to that, which was in the Okahandja Municipality Committee. It's called an advisory committee, where the same community also put me on to say that we want Vihanga to stand for us and to represent us. However, that particular committee is, I've decided to take my foot out of it because it's stagnant, there is no movement, and it's just sort of a ceremonial kind of thing, and it's just, and I'm not going to be a part of that because I will be looked at as somebody who, betrays the trust of his people. Like, what are you doing there? So I decided to write the office of the CEO a letter to say that if we don't have land, because I've been requesting for, applying for land so that we can build a recreational facility, and this has been since 2018, and the response has not been positive. And that's why I took it personal to say, no, this is our town. We are going to get what we want. I don't know what's happening there at the offices, what's going on, but all I see is flats. All I see is bars and shabins. These are things that are working contrary to what I want to do. So that is, I took the challenge and I said, no, this is personal.
Yeah.
So that is how I decided to start doing my research and saying, okay, there's a way that I can actually end up on the constituency level as a councillor for this town, and that's how it came.
Yeah. A lot of independent candidates so far. It's quite a new phenomenon in our country. I think inspired by a few events, political events in the country. The whole concept of independent candidates was not very common. But we see now that it's picking up, and it has recorded some successes for certain individuals.
Yeah.
I'm just one, but even amid all that, a lot of these independent candidates have a history of having been part of certain political parties. Dr. Itula was in SWAPO. There was a gentleman in Maheke there. He was with SWAPO, and then when there were conflict about elections, and then he decided to go on his own, and then he defeated that guy, the SWAPO guy. Same as Paulus Mbangu, who is a member of parliament and also councillor for Rundu Rural. He also defeated the SWAPO candidate there, although he was a SWAPO member. In your case, who were you a member of?
I'm a community person. I'm a community activist. I've just come from the grassroots level. Ordinary guy, regular person who has a regular life and no politics. That's why you will check in my campaigns posters. That's running currently on social. It's titled, "If for no more hunger, vote for Vihanga. Okahandja needs a leader, not a politician." Because politics is what's damaging and what's making people suffer. Now, I don't know the reason why some of these guys are coming out of political parties and then suddenly they want to be independent. What was the whole aim of you joining the party in the first place? So they will speak for themselves. I don't believe in that. I don't believe somebody should vote somebody like that. That's my opinion. They are unreliable. You cannot trust somebody like that because, come on, you know what I mean? They don't have stability. Yeah, but in my case, I believe that the more independent candidates generally are coming forth, especially those that have been active and they have been seen by the community that this guy just brought me porridge, this has done this and that, these are the people that should be voted because they cannot betray the trust. And if you look at the system, how it's designed, as I already explained, that through National Council, through being an independent candidate on just constituency level, the Constitution actually makes provision for you to go on National Council, which at the end of the day, if you look, the elephant in the room is that the ruling party has a lot of seats in parliament. And if we can have most independent candidates in these seats, then the situation is balanced, because we can then really hold people accountable. We can really separate these powers and see that there is no, what is it called, dictatorship, all these things that are happening. So that is the only solution, as a loophole that I see, that if more independent candidates that people are aware of, that they know that this is McDonald, he has been doing this for years, he has helped this community, and we should vote for him, we should support him, so that he can continue doing what he's been doing at a greater level. And that's just general knowledge, as opposed to now voting for an independent candidate that's coming from a political party.
Before we go for a short break, McDonald, we have also observed that a lot of independent candidates, especially in 2020, in the last election in 2020, were people who do not have jobs, people who do not have sufficient education, people who have been on the lookout for jobs and couldn't secure anything, and they saw this as an opportunity for employment. Is that the case with Mr. Vihanga?
That's a wonderful question. What I will address in that is that, let me start by saying one of my campaign strategy is to say that this is not about the money, this is not about the power. We are actually setting up a committee or a council, to say rather, that will be governing with me as their representative once these selected few leaders in the community that are influential, and most of them are former independent candidates who have a following. So what I'm saying personally is that it's not about the money. If we want to donate the salary, that 30,000 that they give to the councillors, they can give it to a charity. My thing is that I want my city, my town back as it was, the garden town. These shambles, all these social ills that are just everybody's doing whatever they want anyhow, that is the problem we want to stop. Now, of course, the issue of unemployment, it's very high. But as an independent candidate, I would then be, or as a councillor, I would then be allowed to fight so that unemployment is not a problem anymore. So that I can also benefit, but not necessarily to say that I am now doing this just for the money or for the power or whatsoever.
Wonderful. We go for a quick break and then return with McDonald Vihanga.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
The evening review continues with McDonald Vihanga. Now, say, you mentioned earlier the social ills within your town, and one of them that comes to mind immediately to me is that you are contesting in the constituency, whose former councillor, Mr. Boyce, is currently in jail for rape, and to make matters worse, raping allegedly his own daughter.
Yes.
Of course, he's not been found guilty,
Yes.
but he has been in jail for some time now. All his bail applications have been denied. So a leader put in charge of town or of the constituency to fight social ills is now in the dock fighting those very ills against himself. What are the other things within your town? What Okahandja is perpetually in the media? Issues about this and that. What are some of the key challenges that your town faces?
When you talk about key challenges, I will definitely bring up the bottle.
Yeah.
The bottle is very, very much affecting our people. In fact, as you enter the town, you will see billboards with alcohol brands, and as you exit, what does that tell you as a driver? You will be tempted, hey, let me get a cold one, or whatsoever. The town is under a spirit of alcohol abuse. Many people are not religious, but the strategy that I mentioned earlier is actually inspired by a biblical account of Nehemiah, who was asked by God to rebuild the city walls of Jerusalem because they were in shambles, the gates were down. And this is the similar situation with Okahandja. Spiritually, there is no gates. Anybody can come from anywhere, anyhow, and they can do what they want. And that is the situation. It's very bad. It's very bad if you had to look at it with the spiritual eyes. We have young boys and girls into drugs and alcohol. We have mushrooming shebeens. And by the way, these are things that the councillor has control over. We have policies, remember. But then still they turn a blind eye because perhaps people will not vote for them, you understand? So these are things that regardless of who benefits in the pocket, they have to be dealt with. And I think that is what the opposition, or let me say, my competitors do not want, because that is what I'm here for. That is what I stand. It's righteousness. And Okahandja is really a town that was beautiful, and there is hope. It can bloom again. People just need to reconsider and start thinking with open minds.
Yeah. The constituency of Okahandja is mostly confined to the same boundaries as the municipality of Okahandja itself.
Yeah.
How would you work with town council there to make sure that there are synergies between your office and that of the municipality, instead of having conflicting aspirations for your people?
That's always been the problem. That's why, therefore, we are coming now with the strategy to say, out all other politics, all the political parties in council, even in local authority. Remember, the same Electoral Act makes provision for organizations to also run and then provide their candidates. So as a community, we have gathered, and we are still doing the process, whereby we're saying that even for local authority, because these people are not, we have tried, and they are not doing it. They are unable to do it. So we have to try another approach, and which is bringing in new councillors from the community, choosing amongst this council or this committee that we are forming, and then put these people in. If Okahandja wants the solution, they can make sure that our votes exceed the ruling party to enable all these people to have a seat in council. Then all their questions, all their problems will be solved. And these are people they trust. These are people they follow. These are people that fight for them on a daily basis. I don't know if I can mention names, but we have been in talks with Tate Kampaku, who is my father. He's seen me grow up. And he's very, very on fire on the town, and he's aggressive about the municipality, why it's doing certain things, such as even cutting elderly people's waters off. And some of these things should be written off, not cutting it off.
Yeah.
Stopping the supply of water services for families, imagine. So that is what we are saying. We are saying that no more politics. Let's do it our way as the community. We're going to select our own people whom we already trust.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You see, my office just here, and I'm just an editor of a newspaper. But the amount of people that walk into my office from Okahandja to say, there are issues of sanitation, issues of land, people being, vergenoeg in that area there, people being
informal.
told, yes. People who have lived on that land for so long are being told to pack up because they got there illegally. But if you go to vergenoeg, which I have done, you see that it's like a blossoming informal area already, a residential area already. Community taps, of course, here and there, but to tell people now to leave that which they have known as their home for the past 5 or more years sounds very impractical and inhuman, actually. How will you deal with a situation like that?
Well, I actually thought about that, and it's true, it is already moved. The town is developing. The people are actually building brick houses now. That is not a solution. That is causing more conflict. And for now, I think they will not pressure that story of people must move because it's elections. We all know these things. People are now waking up. How I will deal with that situation if I was in council with this team of mine, we would talk to the farms, the surrounding farms, and maybe see into options of purchasing some of these grounds. I don't see why or how somebody has already been settled there and now you want to move them. For what reason? What do you want to build there? You want to build a school. Is there no, if that is if it's the urgency or it's such a magnitude problem that you have to really move people, you move them to these farm areas and then you build your school there. Those are just one of the things that you can look at. But creativity is my thing, innovation is my thing. And those are just things, simple things. You just talk to the people and the people become part of the problem. Solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the issue of alcohol abuse, how do you deal with a problem like that? Because there are many elements built in that. One is that it's a business element. People, bar ladies, or it's a guy who fetches beer for his boss and they get paid. So there's an employment element there. There's an economic growth element there because the owner grows his business maybe and set up another should be venture into some other business. And then you have the end user that is giving you the problem. That's the one that is giving you headaches.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
It's very complex, Toivo. It is because at the bottom of it, this is actually the root cause of all our problems in society, actually. Because people are not using alcohol, they are now abusing it. And there are no limits, there are no regulations. And it goes broad, it's beyond that. When you look at the factories that produce these alcohol brands, how active are they within society in terms of corporate social responsibility, perhaps? But the main question here is the regulations. There are policies in place. There is, for example, not supposed to be a bar or a shebeen within residential areas. So how come that is happening? You can actually take that person and let them go build their shebeen or their club at a certain far away from the school children who are trying to study at night, who are trying to, become somebody in life. Now they can't because there is this song playing and there's And by the way, music is also spiritual. There's another, element to that as well. You are trying to study and there's a spirit of alcohol now in your ears. Let me just go drink. And then what happens? So regulations and implementing these policies that we have. The Liquor Act has a lot of, for example, we find that, the same scenario, no shabins within residential area, but then these shabin owners go to the neighbors where they're supposed to get approval. At least 5 neighbors, they pay these guys and say, okay, I just want to start a business here. And then they later on transform into a problem, which was not the agreement. So how do we resolve this? We go down to the root by, what do we want as community? Do we really want to have these things here or not? If we don't, we can have it done. The policymakers can have that done for you. Laws can be amended and so forth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
McDonald, thank you for making time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. We'll talk again once your candidacy has been formally ratified.
Yeah.
And the platform is always open. You can always come back and share and talk to your audience.
We are pushing.
Wonderful. That's McDonald Vihanga. He is an aspiring independent candidate for Okahandja Constituency in Okahandja region, sharing with us his vision for that job. Thank you for watching.